wanted to take time today and show you my Omni journal that I've been using for the past few months. I'm not using it every day, but it's definitely something that I am really coming to love. I'm not naturally a chunky journal, chunky planner kind of person, but now that I have one, I love this. Like, I love the bulk of it. I love all the things. So I'm just going to take you through a little bit. This is a mod cover that I had made a while ago. I actually made it for an A5 notebook, and then it also fit my Kindle reader in here. But right now I just have a couple of pretty images and things tucked in here. I have some business cards and a ruler, and then these just kind of cute feather images that I could use on the fly. And I can also write on the back if I need to give some information to somebody and write it down. The cover is a patchwork cover that I made. I did some stitches in here, all different kinds, and then I sewed the cover together. It is, I did this to cover it so it wasn't permanent, because I'm someone who, yes, I like to have things permanent, but I'm so kind of, I switch things up a lot. So when I'm covering something like this, I don't want to have it be too permanent. So here you can see I put a little tag. It says "Be Brave" in the leather. That was just a little piece of leather that I had, and I attached it with a pin. And then this lace is actually from an upcycled shirt that I made. I used that here. So with my Omni journal, with any journal, with my planners, anything, I do use a lot of images that I find. What I think this allows for me is a creative way to have beautiful images without feeling the need to create those images myself. And I think that it really frees us up to explore what we love without feeling the need of trying to, actually create an image. So for instance, I could sit with some watercolor and attempt to make kind of the scenery image, but I had this image. I find a lot of books and magazine at thrift stores or just secondhand bookstores, used bookstores and things like that. So this little lady over here, little gnome, is from the Book of Gnomes. So I popped that in here with my information in case it was ever found. These are, I wrote on top, reminders. So there's just pretty images that I liked. These are some little kind of flowers that my daughter found for me and gave to me. And I popped that in a kind of a transparent thing. There's beauty and simplicity. Just one more: stop rushing things that need time to grow. You're enough. Take time to do more of what you love. Here, if you know me, this is one of my favorite quotes from Brene Brown. It says, "Joy comes to us in the ordinary moments we risk missing out when we're too busy chasing down the extraordinary." This is a big one for me. Turn expectations into appreciations. So, we hope for the rainbow, but never the rain. And I also like to put in, I don't know what they're called in movies. I think they're called Easter eggs, but like little things that somebody pops in for a reason, but you don't necessarily notice it. So a lot of times when I'm using, say, a dictionary or book page or something, that if somebody was just glancing through this, they wouldn't necessarily see rain and rainbow. They would just see the words. But I really wanted this, turn your rain into your rainbow. So this first part I kind of have clipped off, and then this is all the KonMariing that I would like to take care of in my house. So this is just different categories and some check marks that you might not think of when you are getting into your decluttering or KonMari journey. And these are images that I printed out. I believe they're from Pinterest. So they're just images that, you know, even though this isn't minimalistic, I really love how these items feel together. They don't feel cluttered, they feel curated, which is something I'm really trying to focus on this year. This is another Brené Brown quote. It says, "Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen." There's just some journaling over here. And actually, this is something that's really big for me too, is that I started to journal over here and I got cut off for some reason. Probably children, you know, something always comes up. And I didn't, you can kind of see through, I didn't finish here. And I'm okay with that. I kind of let it be what it is. I'm not trying to, you know, fill the page because that's what's supposed to be done. And just letting me be me, because this is my journal. This is what, you know, comes through as myself. So anyway, there's a piece of vellum that I had written on, so you can see that that's there. And then behind here, I think this image, it's either from Bella Grace magazine or Artful Blogging magazine. And I pulled this out because I really love this. A doily and a little die cut of, actually this was from a big paper of different images that you could use as a die cut, and I just fussy cut this out and put it on here. This image is definitely from Bella Grace, Fall in Love with the Ordinary. So this is a quote that I loved. It was actually, I'm pretty sure one was on the top half of the page and this was on the bottom half of the page. So I just pulled them together. I popped a piece of the, what's that called? Like a paper lunch sack. There's a paper here and there's a paper here. And it just kind of pulled these together in, I guess, a more graceful way. And I outlined these two parts because those are kind of the takeaways from this. And this is a die cut from Tim Holtz. Here is my 2019 kind of goals. So this says goals for my soul 2019. And I just keep that tucked in there with some images that I really love. And just, this felt very peaceful, this image. So this came from, I want to say like a Land's End catalog. But I love the, you know, everything's not perfect. She's not sitting in a you know, field of wildflowers. She's looking out. The wind is obviously blowing. It's kind of a gray day, but it still feels very peaceful to me. And I kind of want that to be part of my, you know, things that don't have to be perfect in order to be wonderful. So, and this quote says, "Adventure isn't waiting somewhere." Nope. Is it? "Adventure isn't waiting somewhere far off for you to go find. It's the difficult, uncomfortable place you find yourself in right now. It is the way you embrace the beauty, lessons, and purpose of your ledge." And that was definitely, that quote is from Bella Grace magazine, from one of their contributors. Here, this is an image definitely from Artful Blogging. This is scrapbook paper from Webster's Pages. This is a title from an article in Bella Grace, or might be Bella Grace, might be Artful Blogging. And then here, like I said, I like to kind of tip in these little things. The word gracious is here. And then this is my 2019 calendar. So I kind of only went to the summer, kids' last day of school, kids' first day of school. We are going to be away for part of this. So when that happens, this gray is just a piece of washi, some thin washi. So I just pop that on there and then rewrite the date on top. So for July, we will be going away 2 of these weeks, and I'll just put that in there. Here, again, is a quote from a magazine, but I loved "Be present, make art, create, grow." And it says, and that's what I also wrote over here. And this is a fold out, and then there's a little, I did this with Distress ink, and then I popped in one of those feather cards from the front, and I just wrote a little bit on the back about being peaceful and still growing. I put a dream sticker here, and then this is also a rub-on, and I don't know if you can see it, but it is metallic, and I thought it just added a little extra something to that edge. And then in here, so this is an amalgam of lots of different things. So you can't really see it, but over here, maybe you'll be able to see it. Over here is some tea-dyed vellum. And I popped that on so the back image became a little bit kind of less noticeable, but still there. This is a cork sticker. It says turn up the beat, which I just think is so cute. I fussy cut this image and planting all kinds of magic. So on this side, I have a envelope that is kind of classic-y in style. And then I was able to put inside here some journaling that, you know, I don't want it to be just out as soon as somebody, you know, kind of flip through my journal. This is a little bit more private about things that I want to have grow in my life. So that's something that I definitely recommend, you know, doing these little tuck spots. Even in here, you really, if somebody was just flipping through, they might not even catch that, but you're able to tuck away, you know, some of your thoughts and feelings. So this is also some scrapbook paper. And then this is some cheesecloth that I just cut and put a little bit on, and it gives it a totally different feeling. I do have a goal for 2019. I want to make sure that I read at least a book a week. I'm doing okay so far, but we'll see how it goes. We're not even halfway through the year. This is an image that I found. This is a piece of fabric that I popped on there. And then just some not die cut, but alpha stickers that I really loved. And books I've read. Now this is also something that I love to talk about. I'm a big proponent of, if you don't like something, you can make it disappear in your journal if it's really bothering you. So let's say that I really didn't like how this came out. All you need to do is put a little bit of glue here and pop it down, and now you have, you know, nobody even knows. It's not even something that anybody will ever know, and you will be the only person that knows that it's hiding something. So that also lends to this page. I actually did some, you can see my little book drawing here, and I did some words back there, and I hated it. I didn't like it at all. So I decided to just completely cover it. This is a vellum envelope. You can kind of hear that crinkle. That was a nice size. This was sent to me by Reit's Stationery Madness, and she had included this in a little gift bag to me, and it was decorated and pretty, so I stuck that in the back. Scrapbook paper with some stamps on it. And then this is from a couple different locations of things, but I just needed something with lines, and I decided to put all the books I've read. I knew that this wasn't going to be enough, so I actually did this one on the back. And I wanted to tag this page off, or tab this page. So I did this for the year, so we could, you know, I know when I could see the year. And then this one, I actually put, I did a little fabric tab, and it's the same fabric that lines up here. And to make it a little more decorative, I used some pins, some quilting pins, and put that like that, so it hangs off, little dangly chain. Some more of that fussy cut, die cut. And this was an image I found, and then I just wrote this quote. She reads books as one would breathe air to fill up and live, by Anne Dillard. And it's true. If you're a reader, I've always been a big reader. So this was a spread, and I just wanted to kind of capture the simplicity of my life. And so this is actually, think it says January. So sometimes I put a date, and I actually stamp it a couple times so it looks a little bit messier. I don't know if you can see that. Oops. So you can kind of see it, but it looks messy like this. And these numbers are embossed. And then I just talked about how blessed I am. This is a cloth washi that I actually did some typewriting on. And yeah, it says, I am these creations. These creations are me. Here I put food is love. This is a page from a Daphne's Diary planner from a few years back. I did put these little like strawberry stickers in there because I thought they were adorable, and then did the food is love. And I'm just writing some go-to meals in here that, you know, in a quick minute, I can put some of I can go through and be like, oh yeah, for my meal planning, what the kids really love. These are some images and different things that I want to make a spread about creating with my daughter, who's also a very creative soul. And so I have a vellum bag in here. It's only being held down by the washi, and probably one of these. And then this is from I'm trying to think, Some American Crafts, a catalog. And I put, so there was a stamp or something here. This is actually upside down. And you can see it says Paisley, established 2008. And I put some gesso on there so it's not as noticeable. And I put some gesso up here. There was something else written here. And then I put a sticker that says collect beautiful moments. This spread I really loved. Again, it conjures the feeling that I want in my life of peacefulness. And then this is the wallpaper, scrapbook paper from Tim Holtz. I was originally going to write in here. I was going to write and journal right over here or probably in the window. And instead I decided to type on some tracing paper. And then I was going to attach it, and I didn't. And I kind of like that I didn't because it flows really nicely, I think. This next one, I do actually have some vellum in as well, some tracing paper, sorry. And the reason for that, so I found this image, and this writing is a poem called Slow by Leonard Cohen, the late singer, artist. And it says focus on what's important over here. This is a journaling card. This one and this one is from a journaling card. Again, I put in slow from some dictionary paper. And then this stuff is actually a kind of rub-on transfer. So the idea is you put down this white stuff. You rub that on, and then you come back with foil, and the foil sticks to the sticky part. So you can kind of see down here, I have some foil. And what I realized after I did this one little section was that I actually didn't like it as much as the white. So I decided to leave the white as is, but I'm sticking this in because this is still sticky. So I either need to leave this in permanently or kind of try to figure out how to get the sticky stuff off of that. This image I love. I think that it is a gorgeous, gorgeous image. And this also shows that even if something is really big, you can still put it in your journal. I had an idea of journaling one of my favorite songs over here. And I'm hesitant about it because, you know, there's always that thing that you don't want to screw it up. But I might still do that in here. Refuse to be ordinary, rise above. So these are some collage words from Dina Wakley, and they're words on tissue paper, so it's easy to pop that in there. I love the vibe that this model was giving. Here, trying to think what I want to say this. Yes, it is. Okay. So this is some jelly print paper that I had in the back. It didn't really have very many no image on it. It just had kind of a decorative color look to it. And so I popped that on here. I made this pocket. So there's I did this with an image from a magazine with some stitching things. This is from an actual pattern to show zipper, where it's supposed to go. This is 2 pieces of ribbon, one lace and one, that's that blue color. And then on here, this was an image I found. I thought it was soft and pretty. And then on the back, I was able to kind of journal a little bit. So again, that kind of tuck in that is not just out for everyone to see. This says, "Be brave." This is a pretty piece of vellum that you can find at most craft stores. And then this is a jelly print that I had made with some leaves. And I used, again, these collage words I used it on a piece of fabric, just a little piece of muslin. I put down a smear of neocrayon color, and then I glued on the Create the World You Want. So in here, so there's a sticker with a little floral thing going on down here, which also has some cheesecloth and a little piece of muslin underneath. This one, I stuck this in. I was journaling, but I just try to get some images together that look cohesive, even if they're not from the same area, the same place. And then I journaled on this piece of paper, and I didn't want it, I stuck it in here, but I still don't like that it was just kind of sticking out. So I put a piece of that tracing paper on top, so it gives it more of a softer look. Okay, so these papers, this and this, you can see this gorgeous, I think this one might be glued down, these kind of gorgeous natural eco print on the paper. And this is on Tomoe River paper. I love how it came out. I was going to journal about taking things from nature and making it into something gorgeous, but I didn't. And I'm not sure if I'm going to, because this in itself conjures those feelings for me. And at the end of the day, my journal's for me. So it's not always necessary to spell out what you want it to feel. Okay, this page. I cannot tell you how many times I thought about gluing this shut, okay, for the world to never see, because I hate it. This is not my style. This is not what I like to do at all. The colors are all kind of wonky for me. And something that Dina Wakley, who I love, says often is, you need to make ugly art. And so I left this in as a reminder, because when you make ugly art, you figure other stuff out. You figure out what you don't like, what you do like. And yeah, so I decided to leave this, as much as I hate it. This spread, I used a hex punch and went through. And this is just a piece of scrapbook paper that had lines on it. And I wrote down 10 wishes that are already true. And my idea behind that is, you know, these are things that people often wish for, but for me, they're reality. So I have 5 right now, but they're 10 major, I want to write 10 major things that I'm grateful for in my life. So just a different way of kind of phrasing the gratefulness. So this image, I'm pretty sure I got from like an Anthropologie, or maybe not an Anthropologie, like an REI. Actually, I think it does say REI. Yeah, so this is from an REI catalog, which catalogs you can go on the website and ask for it, and they will totally just send you a catalog for free. So like this image was totally free because I asked for it. And under here, you can see that it says REI Co-op something edition. No idea what it says, edition. And I first tried to cover it with washi. You could still see it. And then I decided to cover it with this piece of fabric. And I was thinking about journaling on it, but I really didn't want to ruin it. I just think that, you know, as much as this woman is probably modeling, it just seems authentic. She kind of puts out this really authentic vibe. So I wrote this down and just tucked it under here, and it says, when you are true to yourself, authenticity shines out of you like sunbeams. And I'm going to, I wasn't sure if I was going to put this, you know, glue it down or not, but right now it's just tucked under there. So this is an alcohol ink image that I had, and I put it in here with a quote and an image that I liked, and just about being home. So the ordinary arts we practice every day at home are of more importance to the soul than their simplicity might suggest, which I just think is amazing. You know, these little things that we do in our home, making bread, making our kids dinner, sitting with someone and having a cup of tea. All of those things are very simple, but they're much bigger in the grand picture. So I did that. And then these images I got out of a Dottie Angel magazine, or Dottie Angel book about granny chic type things. And then I have a little list here of things that I want to be offering, and another image that I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it in here or not. This is a transparent sticker of lace over here. And yeah, oh, these tabs, I love tabs because they can be any design you want. And so these particular tabs are from, they're from this book. So it kind of goes together, but the image itself wasn't something that I would use in my journal, but I still loved it. So I normally print out 2, paste them in, and you have some beautiful tabs. And then this one, it was kind of following from this one. So I was using these images, and then I knew I wanted to use this one about being home, and I wanted to journal a bit about the life that I picture and what I want for my family. And I thought that this would go really nice with a piece of fabric. So I glued in some fabric. So one thing about fabric that you can do at home and make it look a little bit softer is just make one little cut in it and then actually rip the fabric apart, because more times than not, it will follow the line that you have cut. And then you get this fringy feel. This side here, I actually cut all the way along, and it is fringy, but it's not the same kind of feeling that you get here. And I didn't know which way I wanted to journal in here, so again, I did that typewriter on tracing paper. And then I have all these lovely pages to go. And then back here, where there's this tab, this is a piece of vellum from Michael's or another craft store. This is an image I had from Daphne's diary, and I popped in a little envelope. So this is where I am taking notes from the books that I'm reading, or things that I want to write down. So I have this is the back. Is it the back? Yeah, this is the back of that image, or no, it was a different image. And I actually just made the holes. I took my hole puncher and went down so it looks the same, because I thought it looked kind of, I don't know, kind of grungy and cool. This is an envelope in case I have anything from books that I want to put in here. And I just washi that in both sides, put some stamps here, and then these are some notes from the books that I'm reading. So, and I did put one image here of somebody reading a book because it was so cute. And back here I have another little notebook that is from an old journal planner type thing. And it has, I did write in it. Here. Okay, so the things I want to buy. So I put some things in there. It has restaurants I want to try, books to read, movies to see, that type of thing. And then my last page just has some things that kind of, it's from a different journal, from something that one of my classes I was teaching. And it's sewn onto the vellum paper with a journaling card, a piece of, what is this, like a paint chip from the home store, and then a little I don't even know what to call this, like a little picture slide thing. And I sewed it quickly with my sewing machine. And all of this is being held in here. You know, the front I tuck in because that's, you know, I want to tuck that in the front. I want to see it. But this is all tucked in with a piece of lace on the back that was sewn in when I was making this cover. So it all gets held together just by sitting under that piece of lace. And so as you can see, it's definitely getting a bit chunky. Don't be afraid of tabs too. Like this is a piece of like the top of that scrapbook paper that comes in a big sheet. You know, sometimes there's another image next to it. So this was something that was cut off and I just folded it in half and stapled it on. There's lots of ways to make tabs. This is from an alcohol ink print that I didn't like all of it, but I liked some of it. And so I did that. And again, with these fabric pieces. So I hope you enjoyed. And if you like what you see, subscribe, please, so you can be notified whenever I post something new. And I would love to hear your comments or read your comments and any questions down in the comment section. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day.